This is Big Flats, Texas by TK Farms, 114.79 megabytes to download. And the description there says, welcome to Big Flats, Texas. This is a fictional map based off locations around Greenville, Texas. Map details 2 farms, a main farm and a cattle farm. The cattle farm needs to be purchased to be able to use the buildings. All farm buildings can be sold, 16 fields and 23 farmlands, a train, 5 Sellpoints, custom grain mill and bakery, working AI routes, 100 wooden collectables, precision farming ready, and the custom map features are custom animal food for sheep, cows and chickens, soybeans are in rows, custom grass, realistic wheat and barley, oats can be mowed for grass in last growth stage, cannot hire a worker for this, planters can plant sorghum and canola, added the ability to destroy harvested ground/stalks when driven over, increased storage capacity of train wagons, custom license plates added for player and AI traffic, additional paintable textures and foliage, paintable fields, more placeable trees in landscape mode, custom crop prices, custom crop calendar, and custom soil map. And it says happy farming at the bottom. So let's go and check it out. And here we are. This is where you start off in all 3 modes, and this is the map, guys. So huge fields on here, so you can see what you're up against. I'm in new farmer mode. We actually start off down here, so this is your main starting farm in new farmer mode. Talk about the other modes in a second. So in that mode we do start off with 2 plots, one being that farm area and also this field here, which is quite a huge field as well. To buy those separately, 266,965 for the field, and the farm area is 93,330, which isn't too bad actually. And also the cattle farm is pretty cheap as well. In terms of the other field prices, they are obviously up there. So I think field 12 or plot 12 is the most expensive, just over 804,000. I think plot 18 was the cheapest, 142,000. You can buy the whole map, so there is a few bits where you can buy. You can buy where there is the sell points, like so, and down here. Yeah, so there we go. And there's also these tiny little squares that we can buy. So 9,600 for that, 19,000 there. There's one up there as well for 14,000. They have all got little decorative farmhouses on. So if you own the land, you can't sell them off or anything. They're just there for decoration, I guess, to kind of sort of bring the map to life a little bit. But if you wanted to, you could start off as one of them as your starting farm if you want to put a sleep trigger down, etc., like that. There's tiny little bits of forestry which come included with different plots, but they aren't any of the spruce trees. They look more like the sort of American elms, is it, things like that. So yeah, not really huge amount of forestry on here. There is no BGA also, so if you want to go down that route, you're going to have to place one down. But it literally is just a couple of sell points up here, animal dealer shop, and then down here we've got the custom flour mill, your grain mill, and a bakery. Now we'll talk about them when we get down near to them. And we've also got a train on here, which is pretty good. So we've got the train silo, the roadside and rail side, and it runs across the map like that, and it goes off there to sell to Greenville, like so. The cattle farm is up here. It does come with this field as well. So like I say, that is pretty cheap, only 76,630. So we will buy that in a second. Now there isn't anything showing there, but as soon as we buy that, it will. That is the only plot on the map that will do that. So just something to note there. We'll stay in this menu for a second. I'll scroll up here. It does say 100 collectibles. They are the wooden toys. They are actually worth 2,500. I picked up 4 in a row and they were showing that price on each 4, We don't start off with any production sites yet, but that will change in a second when we buy the cattle farm. Contracts available on other fields, they are going to be pretty good at paying out because they are big fields. Don't have any animal pens yet, but again that will change. There's the vehicles. There's no custom crops or extra products in here. There is your custom crop calendar, as you can see. And that is about it really, guys. So that is the map. We'll talk about mods and slot counts while we're here. So mods will go first. If we go into here first and go down to this one, we do have a couple of mods that are specific to the map, and that is these two guys. So we've got a feed mixer for your TMR. This is the base game one, but it's been adapted because it's got an increased capacity, 50,000 litres, which is nice. And again, this one's been increased the capacity. This is a manure spreader. As far as I can tell, the horsepower is the same and the spread width working miles per hour exactly the same, but that again is 50,000 litres, which is a vast improvement on the base game one. You will obviously find them under the usual categories, manure spreaders and animals, like so. Other mods we've got some sheds. I couldn't quite work out why these are modded in. We do have them over here on our farm, which are different colours, but you can change the base game ones. But we have a few sheds in here. Silos, there was nothing, and in containers I think was the next one. We do have these guys. We've got the stainless steel fertilizer tank and a liquid fertilizer tank, again with increased capacities, 200,000 litre, 100,000 litres, whereas these guys are 60 and 173,000. And then in farmhouses, we do have the farmhouse, which is just over there. And then if we go into production and factories, we've got these guys at the end, which are pretty cool. So these are basically like silos which are going to do things for you, and there is 3 of, and they come in either a large or a small size. So we've got a grass drying one which will change your grass into hay. We've got a fermenting one where you can put either chaff, grass, straw or hay in to produce silage. And then we have a TMR one where you can put silage, straw and hay in to make a TMR. And then we've got 3 smaller versions of the same thing, like so. And then if we go into animals and cows, to have this modded in cattle pasture. Let's actually go on to that, and there we go. That's what it looks like. You'll see them in a second as well, so you can turn that grid on and off. I'll show you that in a second. But if we look at the feed there, they will also take oats and corn, which is good, and you're going to need to give them water because it's a pasture, but that will hold 100 cows. And if we go into the sheep, because it said custom animal feed for that, and the chickens, or them and the chickens, as well as the cows, they will take silage as well as hay, and then the chickens will take corn as well as the 3 usual suspects. So there you go, not too bad. Right, in decoration and fences, if we go all the way to the end, we have this, I was going to say wooden, but it's red, I mean red fence, which works exactly the same. Again, you'll see those up at the cow pasture, or cow farm should I say. And I think that's it for the mods. If we scroll across to painting, at the start we've got these 2 for the map. You can see the map name underneath, so we can create fields in either cultivated state or a ploughed state. And then the textures, we've got animal mud, asphalt, dirt, forest ground, grass, dry grass, gravel, gravel dirt, gravel dust, gravel grass, gravel moss, patchy grass, pathway, gravel pathway, riverbed, and that is it. In trees, it doesn't say the map name underneath them, but it looks like there is more trees than normal in here, so quite a few to look at. And then in plants, if we go to the start, we've got the base game usual ones, and then these guys do have the map name underneath, so we've got all sorts of bushes, blueberries, things like that, meadows. So there you go. That, I believe, is all of that. So we will cover slot counts. So new farmer mode, like I say, we have a slot count of 791, and we start off with this. So 2 medium tractors. It's a bit of a John Deere farm. We got a 6230R and a 7810. A large tractor, we got the 7R 350. We've got a Max Superliner, John Deere Harvester, the T560, New Holland skid steer, Lizard 86 pickup, a couple of trailers, the Wilson Pace Setter and a Brantner. A header for a harvester, that is only a 7.6 metre wide one though, a disc harrow, planters. Now if you look bottom right at the crops, like it said in the description, it will allow you to plant sorghum and canola, which is good. We've got a sprayer, fertiliser spreader, a pallet fork for your skid steer, a couple of weights, again John Deere. And then in belt systems we've got this set up for putting in and taking out of your bin silos, which we do have quite a few of on our farm. Now if you want to sell off all that equipment, you can get the slot count down to 586, but there's potential to get it down a lot further, because you can sell off everything here on our farmhouse, sheds, silos, etc. It will all go, and it makes this area a very open space, and the slot count will drop down to 560. But if you own the cattle farm as well, everything can be sold up there. You can delete the fences around the pastures, and I managed to get the slot count down to 546 if you want to completely come on over a sort of blank canvas if you want to. So there we go. Now in farm management start from scratch, the slot count is 559 because you start off with nothing, no equipment, no land, and also there is no buildings here on this farm. So the silo, sheds, farmhouse, it is completely empty, nothing here. Everything up at the cattle farm, sorry, should I say, well, I suppose it is a cow farm, isn't it, which you can just see in the distance there. That is all still there, so that will show up as normal, but there's nothing here on this farm. And also something to note, if you do sell off this farmhouse, it will leave a couple of little holes in the ground, which you will probably have to, what's that? Oh, it's the pickup. I thought there was a collision there. So yeah, you would have to sort them out. But anyway, farmhouse, sleep trigger on the porch. We'll grab the pickup and go around because it is a bit spread out. We'll have a little tour and I'll show you in landscape just how sort of big this area is and what it will look like, or you know, what it could look like if you sell everything off. So we've got our belt systems there, we've got 2 bin silos there. Now these are just the base game ones, so if we go to, which ones are they actually? They're the 3608, so 980,000 litre capacity, and we also have some there. I might as well show you now. So yeah, if you sell off everything, or you come on here in those 2 modes, that is quite a big area, and you've got plenty of room to place further things down, as you can see. So I like that. You've got the option to change it up. Sheds, these are all base games, so a lot of you will be familiar with this. We've got equipment in there. You can turn the lights on wherever you're stood, which is very nice indeed. Again, we've got these sheds. These are the 3 bay ones. They open up like that. More equipment inside. Got a tractor there ready to go. Got one of these fertilizer tanks there that will hold seed, lime or solid fertilizer, which is nice, 100,000 litres, so you can mix and match up to that capacity. And then we got that guy, which is the liquid fertilizer one, that will hold herbicide and liquid fert, again up to 200,000 litres, mix and match if you wish to. Righty ho, let's move on. I'll quickly show you in this big shed. We do have a fuel tank there as well, so again, huge shed. We do have a workshop area just over there as well, and then the large fuel tank, which is just there. It is empty, but we can fill it up to 25,000 litres. We have some more flat bottom bins over here, and there's our manure spreader, and that is our field over there as well. So you can see very big field, and these are the sort of trees I'm talking about around the map. There isn't any spruce ones or anything like that. So those are the guys you'll be dealing with. Right, we will head on up. I think actually we will buy that plot because we can afford it, so we'll buy that now, and as you can see it all shows up. So basically we've got 8 of those cow pastures there, so you've got the potential to have an 800 cattle, and then we've got 1 each of these silos. Interestingly enough though, the TMR one is a small one, the other 2 are large versions, like so. I thought that was a little bit interesting because you are going to need quite a bit of TMR, I would have thought. But then again, you are also going to need a lot of hay and silage. So these tracks that we can see, they are just sort of dirt tracks like this. There's no traffic on these, but there is a main road which we will go down. That runs up and down the map like that. You will get traffic on there. Haven't seen any people walking around, so I don't think there's any pedestrians or anything on here, but we do have traffic, and you can see all the icons because I've got that turned on, all lit up over there like a Christmas tree. So this is a field that comes with this cow farm. Oh, I'll just knock that sign over. I'll just show you one of these because they are basically the same. So if we come up to this exclamation mark, we can turn that grid on and off. So if you're setting up a new one, you can do that if you wish to. 100 cows, that will hold. You will need to give them water. Feed trough there, they will give you milk as well. But like I say, you can delete these fences. You can delete the whole pasture, but if I go across into there, we can get rid of the fence as well. That won't drop your slot count, but if you want to completely clear this area and go again, put down some bigger cow barns and things like that, if you want to sort of really go for it, you have that option. I'll quickly show you this collectible here. There you go, 2.5 grand. They're normally 1,000, I think, aren't they? So we've got a shed up here. Obviously no equipment. There's no farmhouse up here. Another shed there. And these are the guys that we can tip in and do our business with. So more sheds like that. So if we now go into productions, these are the fermenting ones. You only need 1 ingredient to produce that type of silage. So chaff just in, get silage out. Grass is like for like. Hay and also straw. Pretty good cycles per month as well by the look of it. Then we've got the TMR one, 400 silage, 400 hay and 200 straw. They all add up to 1,000, so then you're going to get 1,000 TMR out. And then the hay, basically grass in, hay out. Again, like for like, good cycles. That one's probably going to run a little slower maybe. Right, we are going to move on from there, and I was going to cut across the top of the map, but I thought I'd show you. I'll zoom right out because we haven't got any trees, so you get a sort of idea. But you can see all the buildings. So down there, the bottom corner, that is where we're going to be heading, kind of thing. That's where there's a big Sellpoint and your grain mill and bakery. Now, although it says custom flour mill and bakery, I think they just mean the building, because I bought them and all the sort of ingredients and recipes are the same, so I think it is just purely the buildings that are custom. There's the train tracks, so we're running parallel to that, but the edge of the map looks okay. That is literally it, where that brown field is. Would hit a brick wall there. It looks pretty good from here. When you do get up a bit closer, it looks a little bit sort of fuzzy, but not bad. And there's an example of those houses that are on the map. But we do have the nice Texas flags there. So we are at the railroad section. So just out here, we obviously have our in and out loading and unloading from the train just there. We've got a rent-a-train point just there as well. We might get to see the train if we're lucky. And it does say there is increased even capacities on the trains. So this is the road access. Tip in up the ramp there and collect out there. And then moving on, making sure we don't get hit by any traffic. We've got a fuel station just there, which is always handy to have on a map. And then in this area and around here we have, I'll stop there, we have the bakery. So basically the smaller lower building this side is your bakery, and it's all joined together. From this taller bit that way is your grain mill or your flour mill. So you tip in for your bakery there, your pallets will appear there, and we can buy the bakery. I don't think we're going to be able to afford it. I probably am going to show you actually. Let's borrow a little bit of money. That should be plenty. We'll buy it just to show you that it is normal. Now the cycles per month may be slightly increased, but the ingredients all look the same, etc. Bread and cake, nothing fancy coming out. Got a bit of a tickle in my throat. I do apologise if I sound a bit croaky. So pallets here, tip in there for your flour mill. It does say there, look, big FLATS flour mill. And we can buy that for 100 grand. And again, just does your normal wheat, barley, oat and sorghum flour, like so. Then if we come over here, now this is where I think you'll have to be careful, but it has been labelled up because we have two sell points right next door to each other, and they are literally named almost the same bar the numbers. So we've got BF grains, we've got 1 and 2 basically, so they are labelled up on the floor. So 1 is here, 2 is there. So if you're doing any contracts, make sure you pick the right one, because that's a shame. I had some harvesting contracts on here earlier when I come on and had a look round, and they did have a 1 and 2 on there. So just make sure you get that right. If you come in this way, which is the proper way you're meant to come in, they are showing the numbers. If you come in from this way, you've got no numbers, and you will be told you are going the wrong way. So there we go. Just be careful doing contracts. Take your time. We've all been there though and done that. Right, so there you go, there's traffic. We're going to go back out across the train track, so the train will go that way and sell like so. There's another one of those houses which we can't get rid of, but it is what it is. Quite a nice looking road though, and there is a water tower up there. You can't actually use it as a water tower, but it's just there for decoration. There's also one down in that corner somewhere, but it does say big FLATS on it. I didn't actually look at that one, but I'm assuming that says the same. We are literally going to go all the way up the top of the map. So we kind of started here, we went up, did the cattle farm, all the way down here, across railroad silo in there, and we are just going straight up now to this area, and that will be it. So in here, over to the left, we have Lone Star Bells, which is a sell point obviously for your bells or loose. We've got our animal dealer here, Lone Star Livestock, so it's going to show up 8 pastures for your cattle, which is good. Just quickly show you the edge of the map. So when you get up there, it does look a little bit blurry, doesn't it? A bit fuzzy, but from a distance it looks pretty good. And then coming back down out of here and then along here, we go into here where our shop area is, and a couple of things. So you've got your shop menu just there, you've got a workshop trigger over there. Now this is also your reset point, and then up the back here we've got another sell point, and this is Lone Star Goods, like so. A couple of collectibles on the street lights there, which is good. A little challenge for you. But that is it, guys, I think. But there is potential to plough and join a lot of these fields up together to make them even bigger if you want to, especially these two. Wow. But there you go. That is it. Big Flats, Texas by TK Farms. Let me know your thoughts, please. But if you have enjoyed the map tour, please give us a thumbs up. That goes a long way to supporting the channel. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. And if you hit that notification bell, you won't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.